Are you guys from Portland, by the way?
Not originally. We're both transplants, I guess.
Seems like most people here have only been here 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Seems like.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from New Orleans.
New Orleans? Oh, cool. When I was writing the script, I wrote a lot of locations into the script, and I wanted it to feel like the city that I would recognize, as being from here, and that people that live here or from here would really recognize, and not just use Portland as sort of an anonymous backdrop for the story, but to have it really be, well, it's kind of a cliche to say that it's, the city is a character in the movie, but I think in this case, the city really does play a big role in the movie, and it's probably one of the, main things that the movie's about. Well, I really like, crime fiction as a genre. If I'm just reading for fun, that's often what I'll read is crime fiction, especially older crime fiction, like, well, Sherlock Holmes, but also Raffles, which Doug is reading in this in the movie, and so I really wanted to respect the genre. I didn't want to make it into a joke or a parody of the genre, but at the same time, the most important thing in the film is the relationships between the characters. So ultimately, even though they're adventures within the framework of a detective or a mystery genre, I think are taken seriously in the movie, some of those things are left open, and it kind of comes back to the moments between the characters towards the end of the film. In shooting dialogue scenes, I always shoot from the very beginning of the scene to the very end, and I don't break it up into little parts unless it's absolutely necessary for time purposes, or I'll shoot an insert or something like that. But for me, I really like the actors to really be responding to what's going on in the scene, and for their performances to come out of that and not trying to deliver a certain line a certain way. The whole Mumblecore thing is really weird for us because we made Dance Party USA, which is the first movie that I made with, I should say that pretty much the same people worked on all 3 of my movies, which is the we that I'm referring to. And we shot that in Portland in 2004, right after we graduated from school, and we really had no idea that, we had no idea what we were doing really, and no idea about film festivals or what other movies that people were making for no money. To us, it just seemed like we saw a lot of people graduate ahead of us who wanted to make films and waited for a really long time to try and get money together, and often it never would come together because the sort of old model of making a super low budget film, where super low budget means $50,000 or something like that, still seemed really out of reach for us and for most people graduating from college. And so we just decided to make a film for whatever amount of money we could afford, which was about $3,000 in the case of Dance Party. Yeah, it was kind of surprising to be put into a category, but it was also really useful, at least at that time, because we didn't have a budget for publicity or anything like that. And so the only way people were going to hear about the films is if people wrote about the films. And I think that giving some people something to write about, that Mumblecore allowed people to write more than they would have if it was just writing about a single film. People often ask, does Mumblecore bother you, or what's your thoughts on Mumblecore? And I think people are trying to elicit a response like, I hate Mumblecore, but I'm kind of, I don't know what to, I'm sort of like, oh well, that's fine. I mean, I think the most important thing you can come out of film school, or just taking a film class, or even a school that's not film related, if you do want to make films, is people to collaborate with, and getting the chance to see who you might work well with. When you're making movies for no money, the most important resource you can have is talented people to help out, someone to shoot the movie and someone to do music and someone to cut it. And that doesn't, if you're all coming from the same place and aren't expecting to get paid, that doesn't cost anything. You don't need fancy equipment really, and especially given the access to technology today, you can cut movies on Final Cut at home, and people have access to a 7D or an HVX 200 or something. I think some friend of a friend probably owns a camera that one could use to shoot it. So it's finding the people that I think is both the hardest part and the most important part. I'm interested in making all kinds of films. One script I'm working on is a werewolf buddy cop comedy, and another is a 1920s safecracker movie, and another one is contemporary and kind of a romance. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to make another movie, and regardless of whether it's for a larger amount of money or the same amount of money, it's the most important thing is to make a movie in the way that that I can feel proud of.